This video is to help you run a regression in Excel using the data that we generated from that extra credit survey. So if you're an Angel, under the Lessons tab, go to Homework, and you'll see on the bottom I've added this extra credit survey data for use with Homework 10. So go ahead, click that, and then download it and save it somewhere you'll know where it is. Open the file. Alright, now you may need to enable editing here. And you'll notice that it opens up in this Outliers tab. This has some data that was incorrectly entered by students. I've cleaned it up in the Clean Data tab. You'll notice there is no identifying information for anyone in the class. So let's run through a regression first. Let's go to this Outliers tab to start with. That was the original tab. So go to your Data tab and go to Data Analysis. If it's not there, you may need to go to File, Options, Add-ins, and Analysis Toolpack. Click Go, and make sure this box is checked when you click OK. Alright, so we go to Data Analysis, and we scroll down to Regression. Click OK. Then it asks for your input Y range. So we want to predict right now weight based on height. So our Y variable is weight. So you can click here, and then there's a neat trick. Hold down Control, hold down Shift, and hit the down arrow, and it goes all the way to the bottom. See, there's no more data beneath here. You click this arrow again. It says Input X range. Click this button. I'm going to go back up to the top. X is height, so Control Shift down again. We get all of those. We go back here. We want to make sure that this is 187 cells. This is also 187 cells. They match up. Now we're going to click Labels because we selected height and weight. Those aren't part of our numbers that we're regressing. They're just the names of the variables. And when we run the regression, I want to do a residual plot, so I can check this box. And I can name the worksheet right now. If I type in something, how about weight, height, outlier for the name of my output. And you can change the confidence level if you want. The default's 95%. We're just going to go with that. And this constant is 0. Leave that alone. We might talk about that later. But make sure it's not checked. Okay, so click OK, and you get your regression results. Here is a residual plot. Now you'll notice that there are some pretty obvious outliers here. These right here are way, way, way different. Okay, so something's wrong. That's how I noticed that something was wrong. Look at the scatter plot and you can see them. Now, here's a note. In my Excel, these two columns right here are the same as these two, so I'm just going to delete these to get rid of them. Now, you'll notice here that we have this intercept of 89, a coefficient of 1.08, and go up to the r squared and look, it's 0.08. Right. Now I'm going to go to the clean data and run the same regression. So once you've already enabled data analysis, you can just go here. Regression should still be highlighted. All right, and our input Y range is that. Our input X range is still that. It's going to be the same as before. And now I want to name this worksheet that we go weight, height. Let's just leave it there. You actually don't need to enter anything there. It can be blank and everything will work fine. Let's see what happens now. Okay, now I have this residual plot, and look, those outliers are gone. There's nobody over in this region. Once again, these things, for some reason, that's an Excel problem. It shows up. If you want to see each observation, your predicted value, and the residual, it will show you. Each one of these points corresponds to a dot on this graph. Now let's look at our output. Our r squared has jumped way up to 0.29, and our intercept is way different. Our height coefficient is way different. So you can see that the results of this regression are much different than the ones with the outliers, and we'll talk about that more. Now notice this says sheet 2. I can go to rename and call it weight, height, clean. So that way when I go back to look later at this output versus this output, I remember which one was which. All right, so hopefully that was a useful Excel rundown. Ask me if you have any questions.